Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 4 of the classical guitar conversion to a steel strung acoustic guitar. Okay, so in the previous episode I was showing the various neck dovetail joint templates I had been making, a few different prototypes, and finally got to the one that I was happy with for this particular project. And I also showed how I attached the template to the guitar body, the top of the body, via the masking tape and super glue trick or method. And I was a little bit dubious whether or not it was going to be stuck well enough to do the job, but turned out it was fine. And so now I've got the pocket cut into the top of the body. Pretty happy with that. And I also have gone ahead and done the bottom of the neck as well, and I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't film any of it because it's noisy, it's messy, it does take quite a bit of time, and it's not all that interesting to watch, really. So yeah, I didn't film it. I wanted to take my time and concentrate on what I was doing and get it right. Now, unfortunately, this being the center line of the guitar, and I've got it all the way down, I wanted to make sure that I got this pocket perfectly in line with the the center, perfectly centered. And it did end up just slightly off. It was off center by a very small amount. But what that means is if you have everything straight after that, the strings are going to be sort of kicked over to one side over the sound hole, one way or the other, depending on which way the neck was out of line. So I have managed to bring it back in line, not perfectly, but a lot better. And the way I did that was I put a shim inside the pocket here, quite a thick one, probably I don't know, about a millimetre. So I glued a shim in this side of the pocket, and then on the neck I shaved off a little bit of this side, so that, to kind of kick it back over to where it should be. And as I said, it's still not perfect, but it's a lot better, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be close enough. So yeah, so the joints are cut now, the dovetail joints are cut, and the neck is fitting into the body pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So if I just kind of wedge it in, and it falls out again. Try that again. So, believe it or not, it is fitting pretty well. Let me just give that a tap. And I can basically hold the guitar with the neck, and it stays in there. So that tells me it's a tight enough joint that once it's glued, it's going to be spot on, not a problem at all. So we're now at the stage where there ain't nothing to it but to glue it. So let's crack on. Right, let me just put the camera down a bit. Okay, so I've got my glue, I've got a paintbrush in some water, and because this joint is going to be pretty tight, I don't have to clamp it. It will be tight enough to hold itself while the glue sets, which is just as well really, because the minute I put clamps on, it's all going to move, and once you've got the clamps on, it's very difficult to check and adjust alignment where necessary. So it's not a really tight fit, but it's good enough. So once I've got it in, I need to check alignment basically side to side, but to do that I will put a ruler along the edge of this center line, and it needs to match up with this truss rod channel so that it's all in line. So that's to measure the side to side alignment, and then for the angle back on the neck, I will do that in the normal way that I do it. I will place the fretboard on the neck, not glue it on, just place it on, and use another straight edge going down the fretboard to the body, and it should just clear the bridge. just clear the top of the bridge. And on that note, I should explain a little bit more about the fretboard situation, because I kind of rushed it at the end of the last video. So this is the original fretboard from this neck, which has got this, you know, funny shape at the end, which would normally kind of, you know, line up with the sound hole. But it's not going to. It's, if I put it onto there, you can see it's a bit short, so it looks a bit odd. And this is a radiused fretboard, which is normal, but I found this other fretboard of mine, which I've had to put the frets in as well, but that didn't take very long. Now this is a flat fretboard, okay? It's flat across this way, there's no curve to it, or radius, as there is with the other one. But because it's got this straight edge at the bottom, it is slightly longer. Let me just compare the two. So just line the tops up. So that the scale is slightly longer. You can see where the 12th fret is back here. The scale is slightly longer. The fretboard itself is slightly longer, and because it's got that straight edge at the bottom, okay, it still doesn't quite meet the sound hole, but it looks a lot better. Now, because I'm using a flat fretboard, I'm also having to use a flat bridge. So in my stash of bridges, I found this one, which I've checked, and it's not radiused across that way, it's flat. And obviously to match that, I also had to have a flat saddle. So flat fretboard, flat bridge, flat saddle. It's not the ideal way to make a guitar. It should be radiused really, but some people, including myself, actually prefer a flat fretboard. So we've got everything matching there. So what I need to do now is get glue on the joint and start to put it together. So I'm going to put quite a generous amount of glue. I'm going to put some in the pocket in the body first of all. Just make some room there. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue in here first. Okay, so here we go. The glue up. So a bit each side, and I will put some on this surface as well, although they don't always actually make contact there, but okay, so spread the glue out. You know what I'm going to say now, don't you? With the glue, you want fairly thin layer, but 100% coverage. You do not want any air gaps anywhere. I'm going to put a little bit more on there. Just to make sure we got a decent glued joint. Actually, I will need some on there, but okay. So that's on in the pocket itself, and now I'm going to do the same on the bottom of the neck. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more on here than I did in that pocket. I want to make sure this is going to stick really good. Okay, so down both sides of the V or the dovetail, and on this surface as well, I'm going to put glue as well. And on this surface, as I said, you don't normally put glue on here, but I want this to have every chance of being a solid joint. So I'm going to put glue on every surface. Oops. Without spilling too much if I can help it. A bit more on this surface. Right, so that should be enough glue. A bit more on there actually. Right, so get that out of the way. And neck. in the joint. Oh man, just knocked the camera. Right, okay. I'm going to need to turn this around to check alignment. It's going to be easier for me. Let me just put that block underneath there. Right, okay. So I'm going to make sure it's all the way in first. Actually, I'll take that block out, that's not helping. Right, goes out of the way. So that's in the joint. Right, so first of all I need to check the alignment side to side. So I've got a long ruler here, which I'm going to put all the way up the centre line of the guitar, that pencil line, and make sure it lines up with the truss rod channel, which at the moment is just a fraction out. Looks pretty good. Let's just triple check. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to check the angle back of the neck. So I put my fretboard, place that on there, and although you're not going to see it, place the, actually I'll just bring it back a bit so you can see. To place the bridge on the body in the rough position where it's going to be, and straight edge along the fretboard, and the end of it should just clear the bridge. And it's not quite, so that's got to go back a bit. Okay, try that again. And it should just clear that bridge. That's actually too much. Okay, so it's got to come back up with it. Okay, let's try that. I mean, this wood glue, it doesn't set instantly. You've got time to mess about. Probably like, 10 minutes or so. It's got to go back a little touch more. Just try that now. Time is okay. Right, that looks pretty good. Just press that in a bit more. About a little tap with something. How about the butt of a chisel? Right, let's check that angle again. Bound to have moved a bit. I think it's maybe got to come up just a tiny fraction. Let's try that. Let me just check that by eye. It actually looks pretty good to me. Let me just check that again. I don't know, maybe up a tiny fraction. I mean, it's crucial to get it right at this stage. Yeah, see, that's too much now. So back down a tiny bit. Okay, how are we looking now? That is close to perfect. I'm going to take that. Right, so I check the side to side alignment one more time, and we should be good to go. It has moved slightly. Okay, so now I've got to check that angle again because that could well have moved as well. Bridge. Yeah, that's good. So I'm just going to check both alignments one more time, and if it hasn't moved, I'll be leaving it at that. Right, that's good. Side to side alignment. I'll be very, very careful I don't move anything. Bridge. Spot on. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Take that off. And I'm not going to touch it now. I'm going to let that set as it is. Okay, so relatively short episode this time, because I can't do anything else now until that's set, because I think I will have to think about this, but the two stages that are next, and I haven't really thought about which order yet, but one is attaching the fretboard, and the other is sanding the whole body. So I do think I'm going to be putting the fretboard on first, attach the fretboard, and once that's set, I will sand the whole thing, because I do know that the edges of the fretboard where you've got the binding are just a tiny fraction wider than the neck. So I'll need to kind of, sand the back edge or the bottom edge of each side to match in with the neck. So yeah, it makes more sense to attach the fretboard before I do any of that sanding. So that will be the next stage, attaching the fretboard. Actually, I've just had a thought. I won't need to do the sanding yet. So, sorry, change of plan. So I will be attaching the fretboard next, and then once that's set, I will need to try and set up and align where the bridge is going to go. So yeah, so it'll be fretboard next, and then the bridge. And again, I'll probably attach the bridge. In fact, I will attach the bridge before I do any of the sanding, so that I'm doing the whole thing together as a single unit. So it's coming along. By the time this glue has set, it's going to look a little bit like an acoustic guitar, and once the fretboard's on, even more so. So that's going to be coming in part 5. Not quite sure when that's going to be, because it's now nearly 5 o'clock on a Friday. I'm really busy at the weekends with teaching, so I'll probably get back onto this next week, I guess. So in the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.